Howdy, gamers. Rick here for Game Trade Media at GAMA Trade Show, and I've got Julie from Greenbrier Games to tell us about all the cool stuff.
All the cool stuff. All of it.
So I'm a huge fan of miniatures and board games that have them.
Yes.
I see you have brought me one.
I have. Champions of Hara.
Tell me about this.
Sure. So Champions of Hara is the last time I was on, it's been a while, but the last time we did Barbarian Battlegrounds. Mm-hmm. And it's the same two designers, William and Ian, who worked on that, also created this.
Okay.
And it is their pet project, their baby. It's a world where all of these people, these individuals from different worlds have come together. So you have these miniatures that are on this field of battle that's actually a collective of different worlds, so each one behaves a little bit differently.
Oh, okay. I was wondering how all these were representing.
Absolutely. So think Saturday Morning Cartoons, the board game, where you've got these fun, friendly, happy, but slightly darker undertones. So maybe Cartoon Network, Saturday Morning Cartoons, the board game.
Okay, I'm down with this.
All right, yeah, we'll go with that. So how it works is you have a character. So, for example, I picked my girl Persephone over here because she's kind of awesome. She's a twee little thing.
Okay.
And
that is adorable.
Yeah, she's so sweet and tiny, right, and she comes from a world where it's nighttime all the time, so she has learned to manifest her nightmares to protect her.
Nice.
So what she does is she takes her starting hand of cards, which and you can tell the starting cards because they have these little handy-dandy little corners on them that are yellow.
Ah, okay.
And everybody starts with a starting hand that gives them a move ability, some fight ability, and then something that helps them level up their character. Her particular character is going to move around the board. So, for example, if I wanted to do that, I would either put a card down from in hand, and I can move up to 2. And I'm going to want to move towards, let's say, or onto... Nope, that's not my character.
No, that's me.
That's you.
Yeah.
We'll get to you in a second. Oh, no. We're going to move her 1, 2 right onto this monster here.
Okay.
Now, maybe she's not going to be able to fight it this turn because it is worth 3 hit points if you see the little 3 hearts. And she's going to need at least, she only has 2 more actions. So she's going to need at least 3 damage that she's able to do, which she's not because her cards to put down are deal 2 damage, range 0, or... if she takes 1 damage, her next attack will target plus 1 damage. So I might want to put that one down and then sit there and get hit by the monster or move up to 2 again.
Okay.
So these are my choices.
All right.
They're not really going to help me this turn. However, this particular character, it's important to think about what you're going to do where she might get hurt because as she levels up, she gets these keywords of scared and terrified.
Okay.
Once she does that, the keywords here will unlock because it's her nightmare that's attacking back.
Okay.
So that's how my character works.
Okay.
Because she's from a nightmare world.
All right.
You don't have a little girl from a nightmare world.
I do not. So I have Koru and Kuma, the lost geomancer. On his home world, Koru was an outcast among the warriors of his tribe due to his physical disability. Koru was denied the rights of manhood and deemed unworthy of his own bear companion. In his new life on Hara, Karu's creative spirit imbues him with the power to manipulate stones and soil, allowing him to build a powerful new arm and create his very own best friend, Kuma, a rock bear.
There you go. So since he couldn't have his own bear totem on his own land, he made his own using his earth magic.
That is super cool.
So he has a rock bear.
And here he's
pretty fantastic.
Right here. Here, I'll just move him right there.
So while Persephone is a more, she advances and retreats based on her level of how terrified she is, which is kind of neat because the scarier she becomes, the more she runs towards fear. She faces her fear and, of course, clobbers them with her nightmares.
Nice.
Kuma is more of a straightforward, he's going to take his rock bear and just...
crush.
Yeah. His abilities start off at full power, so we're going to flip those 2 cards over.
All right.
And there you go. So he would start at 4, and he's just going to deplete over the course of the day.
All right. So he starts here, and as he goes and becomes weaker.
Correct. Full strength. It's like you get tired by the end of the day. So he's a little bit more straightforward. He's a great first time playing, easy player to start with.
Right.
Persephone has a little bit more nuance where you're trying to plan when you're going to move forward and retreat and move forward and retreat.
Cool.
Now, of course, they're doing this to move around the board to fight the monsters.
Right.
They also have to close the rifts that the monsters are coming out of.
Okay.
And they have events that happen, which are an instant good or bad.
Okay.
Resolve it and move on.
Nice.
Each of these things is going to cost them either their health. Oops, this one right here, where they move down in health, or maybe their spirit or sense of will.
Okay.
But it's going to gain them powers in the 3 different types of magic, which, as you can see, match the colors of the cards and the symbols, in case anybody's colorblind.
Nice. That's very cool. You can see all those right here. See the different colored cards that are represented also on the track. Right
cool.
There.
And yes, and then once you hit the midway point and you complete, you also can draft more cards. So you have a choice of a couple different ways you can level up based on the specific tracks.
Oh, very nice.
The other thing that I'd like to point out is that the cards, I kind of showed it, but I didn't talk about it, is you are either putting a card down and playing the side that's in hand.
Okay.
Or once it's down on the table, you can play the one that's on board and pick it back up into your hand. So you start off with 4 cards that have 8 choices, but it's a bit of card management because you can't do both in the same turn.
All right. Let me go ahead and see if we can. So on the top here, it says in hand, and it has its abilities. And on the bottom, it says on board. And I see that there's also text there.
Yes, it's mirrored.
Oh, it's just.
So you do that.
Gain 1 health. Nice.
So I might want to move to this turn, but I might not want to. I might have just done it and say, I'm going to stay still because what I really want is on the next turn. I want to be able to do my dash effect.
Nice.
When I pick it back up.
That's pretty cool. This is really nice.
Thanks.
So how many players is this for?
It is 1 to 4 players because the other thing that we didn't point out, so we're doing this and we're either playing it as a versus where we're trying to get all leveled up and the first one to get completely leveled up and back to the center wins the game, or we're bringing in our corrupted.
Okay. And it says that this is about a 30-minute game?
30 minutes per player.
Per player.
So a 1-player game is going to be a half an hour. A 4-player game will be about 2 hours.
Nice. Very cool. And 15 and up, or 14 and up to play this, are recommended.
Yes.
Right. So every once in a while you find that can fluctuate.
Correct.
Outside of the label. And when is this available?
It's available now.
Now.
Ooh. Right now.
So you can go to your friendly local game store and get the Champions of Hara.
Yep.
Which is really nice. Let's go ahead and show that box art. It's so good. No, just keep it right there. He had it right on.
Sorry.
He had it right on the. And what is the price point on something like this?
It's $70.
$70. Not bad. The miniatures alone are just phenomenal, and they're like this mushroom creature is really cool. And then there's this like super big warrior, Ashura.
Yep. So these are the ones. So if you're playing as a co-op, you would play against these. So you can either play it against each other, or you can play against these characters.
Very cool. And there's some really good ones in there. So you also brought us. What is this?
This is Helios Expanse.
It looks so good. I'm trying to get
it's
it
all
better.
Pretty
and
there
colorful. It is. Look at that box
Again?
art. It is so good. Look at that. I like how the planet here. I just like art. I just really do. And I like right now the sci-fi space art is just killing me.
Well, yeah, and it's Henning Ludvigsen who does some of the art for Star Wars, so he's pretty talented. We kind of like him.
I would say so.
Yeah.
Very cool. So tell us a little bit about this.
Sure. So this is a 4X game that you can play in under an hour.
Nice.
And by under an hour, I do in fact mean a half an hour to an hour long gameplay.
Nice.
Not an hour and 20 minutes. An hour. You know how sometimes that happens?
It does happen. Usually the first time you play something, though.
True. But the point of this was to create that experience for people who love 4X games but don't have time to spend an entire day playing them because maybe they have other games they also want to play, but they want to enjoy a 4X game.
Okay.
So that was kind of the idea that the designers came up with, and then when we played it, I I loved it, so
Okay.
we ended up publishing it.
Perfect. All right.
But yeah, that's so. The point of the game is you're playing a faction, and of course we kept it real simple. You have different colors, and then you would pick what of the factions that are coming from Earth to this new galaxy of a cluster of solar systems.
Nice.
And we're trying to, of course, be the first ones to colonize and have the most.
Seems right.
Right? And everybody's together.
Okay.
Except me a little bit more.
Okay.
So you would pick your faction. Each one has a different ability.
All right.
So, for example, we have the All-Americans here, and they like to deal damage.
Of course they do.
Yes. Yes. As opposed to, let's see, what would be another good one? Mars. Mars is also pretty military-based.
All Americans.
Mm-hmm.
I was right there. I want to see it closer.
All right. Yeah, if you just want to keep it in that space right there, I'll just.
Actually, here's a good one.
Of course it is, Rick. Jesus. All right, so All Americans, and then you said.
Actually, I pulled up Mars and Ceres, but
all right.
either one.
All right, go with Mars.
Mars is also more of a military-based one.
Okay.
They spent a lot of time in their history trying to live up to the name of the god they were named after.
Okay.
The Greek god. Or the Roman god. And then Ceres. Ceres, of course, being the Beltway. So they are more, they hide in the shadows and come out and get information and maybe use it against you.
Oh, what?
So each faction has its own ability, and you would pick that, and then you would pick the color that you're playing.
Right.
And then we would program our cards. So you have a number of different choices.
Okay.
However, they boil down to cards that are going to help you move.
All right. So
like maneuver. Cards that are going to help you attack other players, like aggression or blast.
I do like aggression and blast.
Cards that are going to help you colonize, like terraform and invasion.
Wow.
And cards that are going to help you level up on your track, like training and research.
Nice.
And of course, as you level up on those tracks, either your technology track or your military track, these cards become more powerful and they unlock the bottom half of the card as you level up.
Nice.
So to play, we would we would take a turn.
Okay.
And we would program the cards.
Okay.
So for example, I may say that I'm going to research first, and I would put it face up.
All right. And
of course, if I was first, I'm blue. I would need to be first on the track. You're red, and then we'd say green.
Okay. So if I wanted to maneuver, I just place it.
You would place it right here.
Oh.
And we're building a deck.
Oh, okay. I see what we're doing now.
And then my friend here is also going to maneuver.
All right.
And when we keep going, so that was round one, we would do that for 5 turns.
Okay.
And then we would flick the deck, and we would resolve them in the same order we had placed them.
Okay.
So the beauty of this is, while it's telling it's pre-programmed as a program deck, it's open-ended enough that if I say move, it's not telling me exactly where I can move. So I have the flexibility to choose. So I might look and see where other people are moving and move further away because I know I'm trying to colonize and I need open planets.
Okay.
Or I might have chosen later on to do some sort of attacking maneuver. So I might be moving towards the players in their colonies to do some attacking type of movements.
Okay.
So I have that flexibility.
Cool.
But it cuts down on all of that analysis paralysis time.
Sure.
Because you don't have you're not weighing every single factor while you're playing.
Right. That's cool. And so 5 rounds, you're obviously not going to use all your cards.
Correct.
So and then because of the way you're laying them, when you flip them over, you know that you have to have some card management because you may maneuver and then you're going to want to deploy and then terraform or whatever.
And you do have some of your cards that are in your hand that if they're still in your hands, you're going to be... So, for example, invasion is used to invade another colony, so once colonies are placed out. So let's say, oh no, I didn't give you any of your cubes.
Oh, that's okay. I have them right here.
Perfect.
All right. Ding, ding, ding. And I'm right here.
So let's say, actually, let's put you here.
Okay.
And I'm over here, and I decide I'm going, my card for invasion comes up.
All right.
Where I can, because I have a cube here,
Adjacent to that one.
Adjacent to that one. Now, I'd have to check.
Mm-hmm.
I'm higher up. Nope, now I am.
Okay.
I'm higher up on the military track, so I have higher military might. So, in fact, I'll be able to invade.
Nice.
However, maybe you have in your hand still your invasion card. You didn't play it. You have it in your hand.
Right.
That means you can choose to play it now and retreat, which means even though you lose this planet, your people move to the adjacent planet that's available, and then I can put mine here.
Oh, okay. Nice. And now what is the win condition on this?
It is a point salad, so you're going to want a point for every planet that you get, every different sector that you have, and how high you are on the tracks.
Nice.
So it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, pretty straightforward.
Very streamlined, and yet because you're trying to think out what you're doing when you have the opportunity, it has some of that strategy still involved so that you still have that feeling of playing a 4X game.
Absolutely. And what's kind of neat is as everybody's playing, you're going to see where they're playing and what they're kind of planning. So as you're doing that, you can obviously, if I saw that you had laid an invasion based on the thing, I am going to be absolutely keep an invasion in hand to retreat if possible, you know.
A couple other things you can do is you can, so we wouldn't actually have our full hand, we would have drawn a certain amount.
Right.
You can choose to forego a turn to pull more cards if you're not happy with them. Or you can choose to play Ruse card and play a card face down so people can't see what you played that turn.
Nice.
Which may be something where you're trying to sneakily attack or just bluff because you think people are coming after you.
Right. That's cool.
Who knows?
Very cool.
If you get hit, you also take damage, which means when you're drawing your hand, you might have these cards that impede you from making some choices.
Okay. Cool. I love it.
But that's basically it.
Yeah. And when is this available?
This is coming out the very beginning of next month. So shortly.
Weeks away.
Weeks away.
Half a weeks.
Half weeks?
It's only like
fractions of weeks.
It's like 2 weeks away.
Yes, so soon.
Very cool. And what's the price point on this?
This is $50.
Nice. Okay. And it comes with a lot. You're not seeing everything on the board. There's a lot still left here that we didn't put out for the demo on this, but there's a lot of content that is going to be added into this, especially when you're playing it for 4 players, up to 4?
It's 3 to 6 players.
3 to 6. Okay. Wow. That's even crazier fun.
Yes.
All right. Very cool. Well, Julie, thank you so much for showing us all this cool stuff. Where can people find more information about Greenbrier Games?
Well, we have our handy-dandy website, greenbriergames.com. We're on Facebook and Twitter and all the social medias.
All right.
And, of course, please stop by your local game store and ask them if we're in stock.
All right. And if you have seen this video and you are interested in this and or the Champions of Hara, let your retailer know that if it's not on the shelf, to get it on the shelf so that you can get it on your table and play it with your friends. I'm Rick here for Game Trade Media. I'll see you at the game store.